Hi everybody, I'm Kathy Burke, and this is my Buddha garden. Um, I'm taping all of this today because in the middle of the winter, when it's snowy and cold out, I can go back and I can say, oh, look what I have to look forward to. Recently I put the two Om rocks in. I painted them and put Om on them for peace, and it's all about peace in my yard. My yard is a very peaceful sanctuary for me, and everybody who comes says that too. And anyway, Buddha, I've been building this for the past 2 or 3 years, adding to it, and it's come to fruition this year, and it just really looks really beautiful. Recently, I was guided by my angels and the fairies to create a fairy angel garden. I have a big yard, and I have a lot of space, and it felt so right to do this. And on Saturday, the angels and the fairies and we put this all together. They helped me, and we just developed it, and it came out so beautiful, and it's just such a peaceful, really beautiful place to just sit and watch and have a cup of tea and feel really good about my yard and just life. It brings me back to a place of magic and light, and I painted some of the stones. Many of the stones I found in a pile in the woods that we had put there after adding our addition on for Christina's apartment several years ago, and so I had just about everything I needed. I didn't really have to buy much of anything. I had some of the trinkets and the different things in the house, and I also had the wood that we chopped a tree last year that had fallen down, so I used some of the wood for that. And the fairies seem to be extremely happy, and the angels are too. The address is 444, which is the angels number. And as you can see, we have some angels and fairies right up front here, and just lots of cool little things, the bird bath, and I don't know, I'm just really happy the way it came out. I feel really good about it. Um, I found these two big rocks too, and I painted them and I put a little design on them. And this cute little seat, believe it or not, I found this at the swap room at the dump recently, and so it fit right in, and the flowers, and I have a lot of foliage in my backyard, so it's really pretty. It looks very fairy-like. So I'm very pleased to be able to have that in the background. Thank you. This is my herb garden that I began in the spring, and this brings a lot of peace and joy to me too. It's been doing very well. I have a lot of sage, I have some thyme, I have parsley, I have cilantro, I have mint, I also have some rosemary growing, and basil, and a lot of flowers. It's doing really well. It's not a huge garden, but we've been putting a lot of the stuff in salads and using them for spices, and it's really been delicious using a lot of the herbs from right in the backyard. And then I have a lot of hostas in my yard, and they're so peaceful, and you have to do nothing to them. They just love to grow. In the back porch, the flowers are doing really beautiful this year. Even though we haven't had a lot of water, I've been watering them. They're doing fabulous. They're very happy, and they're bringing a lot of peace. I always put impatience in the yard because I am building on my patience, and I feel like the impatience give me that little boost I need to be patient about certain things. And right over here, this is my mint plant, and this is the shells I collected off of Nantasket Beach. I like to paint them and put little starfish on them. And as you can see, all of the gardens around the yard are flourishing. The grass isn't doing so well, but the rest of the yard's doing really well. Love to paint stones, and so I have my dahlia ready to pop here with the peace and love stone and miracles, and I think it brings in good energy. And a little bit of joy always helps. And so there's a nice little dahlia right here ready to pop out and say hello. And there's Miss Lily again. She just loves this yard. She goes in the garden. She has a grand old time. She's out more than she's in. She's in at night, but she just loves the garden. And I know the fairies, she has a very fairy-like energy about her. So the angels and the fairies and Lily get along really quite well. This is my front yard, and this is a garden I added out front near the mailbox this year. We removed a lot of brush, and I built this nice little garden too, and this has an energy all of its own. There's a lot of black-eyed Susans in here, which I love, and a special rose bush that is planted for my mother. That's her rose bush. And a big rock that I've had sitting in my yard forever, and I just built all around it. And again, it's another piece of joy in my yard. I've been staying home a little more because I've had these beautiful gardens to not only tend to, but just really enjoy. And again, they're doing really well. And when that winter comes, I'm going to be able to go back and say, oh, can't wait till spring. And then right in my front yard against my house, I have a lot of perennials. I've been working with perennials for years. Every year I buy